you got to remember when we did the Boston Tea Party, we were throwing British tea overboard to fight a British monarchy that was, taxation without representation and a whole lot of other things that were happening, right? We weren't burning down American-made, American-grown companies, that American people owned. And there's a huge difference there in burning down your own country and fighting a different country for trying to overrule you.
We're totally on the same level with that. I'm down with that. Absolutely. But
listen up, maggots. This is the Grouch coming at you loud and clear with another edition of the Weekend Warriors podcast. This is the place for real, no bullshit talk on the harsh realities and irreverent humor around military life. So sit the fuck down, strap in, and get ready for a raw, no-holds-barred discussion. This is the Weekend Warriors. All right, here we are with another episode of the Weekend Warriors podcast. I'm your host, The Grouch, and with me today, we've got Cody working late night.
Hello, hello.
We got Chris, the radio rustler.
What's going on, fellas?
And for the first time, we got Matt, W2ORT.
What's going on?
Well, thanks for being here, guys. So let's start things like we always do, and let's go around and check in with everybody, see how we're doing. Cody, how was your week? How you been, man? You've been busy. You've been not around.
Dude, exhausted. That's how I've been, exhausted lately. This past week we've been wrapping up this multinational exercise that deals with a lot of newer technologies that they want to see in practice out in the desert. Pretty much big dog and pony show. So that's great. So it makes me end up having to make the dog ride on the pony. So I'm exhausted with that. But the highlight of the week ended up with a military low power HF competition. It's called QRPX. It's put on by Netcom, and it has been quite fun teaching, of course, over the phone, but teaching a lot of folks how to drive their military radio, and that's what I'm all about. And one more jab at the Marine Corps. It's very difficult to teach them how to read letters on a piece of paper. I just got to throw that out there. They don't know how to go down and right, back up. So
did you write the directions in crayon?
Absolutely, but then I started to, but fuckers started eating it. So oh well. But yeah, no, it's been a good week, man, and I'm ready to talk to you guys. So nice. That's where we're at.
All right. You said that was international?
No, the international competition's called Noble Skywave. That one's in late October. That's the military HF Super Bowl. This one is put on by Netcom. So we got all of Department of Defense. So nice. Marines, Navy, Mars operators, a couple of Civil Air Patrol folks were out there. You got CFARs, Canadian weirdos, and everyone else in between. We did pretty good though. All different operating modes, ALE, and sending a lot of PSK data, and by any means necessary, make a contact, send a Lakota message, and then move on. So it was quite fun. Very difficult to get old Alaska on 20 watts from down here in California. But we're in there, one finger in one ear, hand mic in the other, just screaming, trying to get the contact. But we made it. So that's the icing on the cake.
Nice. Well, now that I've closed the roof vent, because just suddenly started pouring on me. Chris, how you doing, man? How was your week? How you been?
Oh man, it's been one hell of a week, brother. Work is miserable. Everybody at work's miserable. I don't know. Just it must be the change in the weather that's just making people go crazy at work. Customers are moody, associates are moody, management's moody, I'm moody. Everybody's just moody at work, man. So yeah, that's the life of real retail, though. You know, like nothing changes, everything's changing. You know, it's all in one. You know, nothing changes and everything changes all in the same day. It's amazing how many things can go right and wrong. You know, in a matter of an hour. Other than that, man, like outside of that, everything's great. Last weekend did a whole bunch of POTA. Got like 7 parks in the book, all new to me. You know, some sketchy places. A couple places I had to like, you know, pull over the side of the road and throw a, you know, wire in a tree, and a couple places I was able to, you know, spread out a little bit. But got an Italy park out of it, which was pretty cool. First time I got an Italy park. But yeah, we just hopped in, set up, banged it out, took it down, head to the next park. You know, didn't even bother calling CQ the whole time. I just hunted everybody through them. You know, it was on just a quick run.
Yeah.
And then today, girlfriend and I were just looking for stuff to do, and there's a place that's like, I want to say, a couple miles down the road from me. It's like some nature, like preserve from the county, state, DEC all got together and made it. So it's got a whole bunch of trails we went exploring today. That was actually really cool. It's like old granite mine, like for making graphite and stuff like that. Like all kinds of interesting stuff up there. So we spent a couple hours up there and, you know, went and had dinner. So, you know, work aside, everything else is good. Except for the power I lost today. I lost power for 2 hours, had no internet, no nothing. Internet went down. Cell towers, apparently like 5 out of the 10 cell towers in the 3 mile radius all went down at the same time, including the master one. It's like, how does the master tower go down? Like, you guys don't have like backup power. What kind of crap is that? So I didn't even know if I was going to make it on a stream tonight, man. I'm just glad I did.
Dude, that last bit sounded like the ham radio study, like TikTok commercial. Cell phones are down. Towers are down. How are you going to make contact?
So as a side interesting note to that, so my kid works from home, right? So she needs like internet and everything else, right? So all the power's out. We have no internet, no nothing, right? So we got a cell service, you know, and even that's kind of sketchy. I bought a 100 watt or 100 amp hour battery, I don't want to say like a month ago, right? And I have an inverter. I was able to hook up the battery to the inverter, hook her laptop in it so she can get on and keep working, and then hook her laptop to my cell phone through a hotspot so she could have internet. So it was like proof positive that stuff like that actually can happen and works. Like we can actually make things happen out of nowhere just by having the knowledge that we do in the back. You know what I mean? I had my other radio on battery power, so I was able to hook that in and turn that on to listen to the repeaters. You know, it's good proof to practice of, you know, stuff that we can do.
Yeah, man, pays to know a guy, right? I know this ham operator down the road.
Yeah.
So Matt, it's your first time with us. Thanks for being here. I know you got a lot going on, but how has your week been, and how are the little ones?
Yeah, I'll get a little deeper into it for my first time being in, but yeah, both little ones, both the girls are good. The wife, you know, she's the wife. Yeah, you know, that's good. No, we're doing good though. I learned to solder copper plumbing this week. You know, owning a home is you know, fun. I had the shower start leaking, so I got the main to the house shut off pretty quick, and then I was like, I've little backstory. I've been spending 3 weeks down out of home for work, and I was really lazy, didn't want to do any plumbing, so I called a plumber, and I was like, "Hey, listen, how long would it, or how much would it be to fix this shower faucet, because what happened was the cartridge went bad in the faucet, but half the cartridge got stuck in there, so the whole faucet was fucked up. It was going to charge me almost $800 to have everything fixed, so I said, "Fuck that!" Today's the day I learned how to solder copper, and that's been my fun this weekend, is fixing up the shower, a couple other projects, and just getting back to hanging out at home and not being away from home.
Well, I'm glad you learned a new skill, but as a fellow homeowner and somebody that has learned these things as well, doing the migration from copper to PEX will save you a whole lot of aggravation. And,
yeah, I think
something to consider.
I thought about it just because I'm like, pipes bursting up, in the Syracuse area. Gets cold up here. It's all copper piping. Is a good fear of mine. So at some point, I think I might upgrade to that.
Yeah, well, they make little adapters, so you solder the adapter onto the copper pipe, and then it's just.
I did see that.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And the ratcheting tool and stuff to do the ring clips. It's not too expensive. It's well worth the investment, I think.
Oh yeah.
But so you've been traveling for work. You've been going any place cool? You get to do any radio while you're traveling, or?
So I work. You guys know, the podcast doesn't know, I work with public safety radios. So I work on different digital trunking systems, mainly P25. And so my extent to radios while on the go has been just VHF, UHF, calling out on simplex, VHF calling, UHF calling. I got a couple contacts, jumped in on a couple repeater nets where I was. I wasn't anywhere really cool when I was doing the work. I was just somewhere busy. I grew up in northern Jersey, and I'm not a big fan of New York City. Just too many people, too much going on. And I was working just north of that area. So I was not happy to be back around New York City, to say the least. But that was the fun.
Well, I'm glad you get to join us, and hopefully you can make a few more episodes down the road too.
Yeah, I got to get back onto a schedule. I was just it was one of those nights where I jumped in Discord, was hanging out, and Cody just came in, and he's like, "Shh, come with me real quick."
He's good like that.
Yeah, no, it's good.
What about you, Paul?
You know what? It's been a trying week. I've had some good moments, where like I got to go do a little bit of POTA, got to play with a little bit of radio stuff, got to do some building. Relationships are hard. So there's those struggles going on. Trying to figure out how best to make amends and kind of do things so that I can have a better relationship with the 14-year-old boy. He's my last one at home, and he's the last one that I have some semblance of influence over how he grows up. So just trying to guide him right, and not have him completely hate me for the rest of his life. But yeah, not bad though. I can't complain too much. And it's good to be here with you guys, doing a little group therapy on the interweb.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk about them little Gen A kids. All right. Had a short discussion today of like what constitutes a millennial, Gen Z, or Gen Alpha. Somebody told me today, I guess 2025 marks the generation beta.
Really?
Yes. So that's
wow, dude.
Yeah. So we're in the beta right now. So if any of you gentlemen out there want to impregnate,
we went greatest to boomers to X.
No, greatest to silent. You forgot the silent.
Greatest silent to boomers to X, who's always forgotten, right? To Y. To Y, which is somewhere in between X and millennial, but nobody can really figure out where they fit.
What's Y and millennial were like interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got what? Gen Z.
Gen Z, yep.
Yeah, which my daughter is, because she's 21.
I like to call them the quiet quitters. They're the ones that coined the phrase.
Yeah. I used to ask my kid, I was like, why do you guys just like kind of just don't really care? She goes, why would we care? She's like, it doesn't matter what we're going to say or do anyway. You guys are always in charge, and the people behind us are stupid. So why would we bother?
Dude, that's rough, man. Right?
Like, wow.
Well, they're already raised by a bunch of disgruntled people, right? They're just a little bit pissed off, so they're feeding off our energy. The next thing you know, right?
Yeah,
just
I got
audacious, audacious little bastard.
Yeah, I'm thankful for my daughter the way she grew up. She had, she was a straight A student in high school, never got any trouble. She had 4.0 average in college. She's got a really good job, great boyfriend, who treats her really well. I can't complain. I see some of her friends. It's like, I'm glad you are not friends with them anymore. And then my girlfriend's got teenage daughters, and I'm like watching them going, wow, whole different generation there. They're all like the Gen Alpha generation. Is like, okay, the skibbity toilet and whatever all like that kind of crap is going on.
Yeah,
what that means.
So if we're playing the timeline game, right? Gen Alpha was technically from 2010 to 2014 or 2024. Excuse me, 2010 to 2024. 14 years, right?
All right. So I just had to pull it up too.
Yeah. So they are the kids that were mostly affected by the COVID and the modern era of whatever, right? So the most elder of them ended up having to do high school during COVID. Suck. Sorry for that. Can't come up with a good excuse for y'all. And then the rest of them has, we're in early grade school, right? Early grade. So the tough part about that is, right, I think we changed the entire culture of kind of how we teach and all this other stuff and politics, the all-encompassing just craziness of it that doesn't equate to our generation.
So where is this? I think they skipped the silent generation.
No, silent is 28 to 45.
At the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are your World War I.
Isn't that the greatest generation, though?
No, greatest is before the silent.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, scroll down real quick. Go to the first one there. Yeah, year by year for parents. There you go. Excuse me. There we're at.
There we go.
Greatest 1901 to 1927.
Yeah, so that was my grandparents. My parents were the silent generation. I'm a Gen X. My girlfriend's a millennial. I'm robbing
I'm a millennial. I was born in 81.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys, look at this real quick here, right? I get it. There's more people. We're all doing better things, right? And, with medical and all that jazz. But the greatest generation, right? You got 26 years there, right? Silent generation, almost another 20 years. Baby boomers, right? 20 years solid. 15 years for Gen X, right? 15 years for millennials. But it's actually started to get shorter and shorter for these generational gaps.
14, yeah.
Yeah.
14.
Because you know why? we've gone back to where people are having kids young, and then their kids are having kids young.
Sure.
So it shortens the generation gap.
You know what's fucked up about it though? I feel like it's not really families are having kids young. It's people are having kids young. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of single mom culture going around right now.
There's a lot of whoring going on.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Listen, everybody should know this old ditty, right? Don't be a fool, wrap your tool. Right? Like, if you don't want babies, fucking wrap that shit.
Yeah, I just got the fucking snip. Fuck that shit. Just got neutered.
Oof.
Yeah.
No more for me. I had my 2, and that's it.
No, thank you. So I was joking.
Hold on. You only had 2 and you quit?
Fuck
That's
yeah.
bullshit. Dude. Everyone knows, all right, what made America great is that we had a fucking family household that had 2.35 kids, right? Our
And a white picket
generational
fence.
success, right, that makes us a superpower is our ability to have more than one child. Actually, more than 2 children. So
here's
I need you to reverse that bad boy and get another 0.36 worth of kid. Okay, just hurry up.
Here's my argument with that. You know, I'll rebuttal.
Okay.
Phone plans. You know, the family phone plan is 4 people. The table, the restaurant booths you go to, 4 people. You know, all these things, all these family things are made for 4 people. You know,
2 parents, 2 kids.
Yeah, but a regular sedan car fits 5. Come on, dude. Why do you think they built it that way?
You know,
You get an old school station wagon. That fits like 7 or 8.
You know, yeah, you got to have a middle bitch. You know what? I got that, but
You
stick the
mother-in-law.
You stick the car seat in the middle, and then you stick the 2 young kids on either side of the car seat, and everybody's crammed in the back.
Yep. Fuck them kids. They deserve it.
No, if only you could ride the back of a pickup.
Yeah. Oh, we used to do that as a kid. Can't do that anymore. I was joking with my girlfriend the other day about having another kid. I was like, that'd be funny. I was like, if we have another kid between the 2 of us, I got a grown adult. She's got 2 teenagers. We'd have a baby, and by the time the baby was an adult, you know, I'd be like, you know, in a nursing home, getting my diaper changed. Yeah, I don't think so. And my luck and her luck, it'd be a girl again. Then we'd have 4 girls.
You know, I had some of this discussion today with this. We're talking about having kids in the Army, and it does generally align with, like, most of the enlisted folks have children younger, right? And then most of the officers kind of like fill out, you know, the junior part of their career before they start having children. Well, so most of my peers or the people that I work with or interact with, right, are of you know, majors or above. Well, they all have children that are, you know, 10 years younger than mine. You know, I'm over here like, you know, parenting wise, we don't have anything in common. You know, so with one caveat, right? I'm going to let it out there, let you all know. My brigade commander, the full bird colonel, he's got a kid that's in the Army. He's got a kid in West Point. He's got a kid in high school. He's got a kid in middle school, and he's got a kindergartner.
Wow.
And then one that just came out.
Holy. That's a healthy family right there.
Yeah. It has me a little bit suspicious, right? Because whenever we go out to the field, we're always staying forever and ever and ever unnecessarily. My brigade commander's got a Luke pullout game, right? All around. He can't pull us out of the field. He can't pull out of bed. We're all screwed.
Can't pull out in the bedroom.
Yeah, getting the green weenie, metaphorically there.
I had mine late. I was 29 when I had mine. So, and I'm actually the oldest of two. My father had me at 36. And my siblings a year and a half behind me.
Yeah, I think my dad was 21 when he had me, and then I had my oldest when I was 21. So, not that I wanted any kids. I never wanted kids, but once it happens, you just got to deal with it, do the best you can.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're here.
Welcome to the party. Here's a beer.
Listen, I never wanted any kids either, honestly. And not because I didn't want a kid, right? It's like, I never thought I'd ever be a good dad. Like I saw how my parents were growing up and they were divorced and they fought all the time and everything. I saw other friends' parents just I was like, I don't want that for my kid. I don't want to have to bring a kid in this world. And then I met my ex-wife, we got married, next thing you know, we're having a kid. And it's like a switch went off. Like I went from never wanting to have a kid because I didn't think I'd ever be a good parent to dedicating my life to be the best parent I could be. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Adapt and overcome.
I think I definitely enjoy parenting. I just never been a big fan of the baby phase. Like I just, I hate the inability to say what the fuck's your problem and how can I help you. Like, tell me what the fuck's your issue is. Like, the whole just crying because you're tired, crying because you're overtired instead of just going the fuck to sleep. Like, all those baby things. Never been a fan of it. Once they get older and they're toddlers and they can it's a two-way conversation, it's a lot better.
Yeah, till about age 8, 9 when they start fuck you.
Bro, yeah.
Right, and then you get the teenage years. I know everything. You know nothing. You're an old man. You're an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is, man. Right? You're spot on, Grouch. Like 8 or 9. That's where you're like, all right, what happened? I'd rather you go back to your crawling phase before you were even able to walk. Like, I don't want you anymore. Stop. I'm glad you can make your own sandwich right now, but for all the rest of it, just get out of here.
Yeah, it will change. It will change when they get. It's funny because I always like, oh yeah, my kid's gonna be a pain in the ass shithead her whole life. Just up my ass constantly, and no, or why. Honestly, like now she's a grown adult, and I think she realizes all the stuff that went on throughout her life. That like we actually have like adult conversations. Now, she can still be a pain in the ass because she's still my kid, and she's going to test me no matter what. But at the end of the day, she goes, you know what? I understand, Dad. Thank you, or I appreciate it, or she's just waiting to put me in a home. That's all.
My brother was about 6 years old when my parents got divorced, and it always there was a lot of back and forth between my brother and I, my parents, and I think when my brother got out of high school, my parents said, "We'll let you do one thing. You want to go on a vacation? We'll pay for it. We'll help you out, but like you got to cover like some of the things that you want to do." So he's like, "All right, me and a couple friends want to go backpacking through Europe." So they started in the Czech Republic because that's where we have some family, and then they went around. Well, he got there. He celebrated my mom's birthday when we were out there, or they were out there. I didn't go, but his friends came, and on the first night, one of his friends had a kind of mental episode and just walked off, just like in the middle of Prague, just gone, and like would not answer his phone, like nothing. So like my mom is driving around Prague, which she's never driven in. Well, she rarely drives in Europe, let alone Prague, and so all this is going on. And my brother comes back from this experience after the couple weeks that they went backpacking around, and he's like, I felt like an adult, and I just wanted. And he went to my parents and was like, "Listen, thank you for everything that you guys did for me growing up. It kind of was eye-opening, spending the money on my own a little bit, and kind of like having to manage rather than having things kind of planned for me." And you know, so because I mean, I was 12 when it happened, so like I was conscious, but like I kind of saw everything happened, and I was always kind of you know aware of everything and appreciative of things when it needed to be appreciated. But yeah, that was a kind of realization my brother had, when he had to open up his wallet.
Sometimes that's all it takes. You gotta do something for yourself every once in a while, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, I can actually do this, and I can actually move on and live a life that I want versus what somebody else wants or what I got to rely on somebody on. I taught my daughter, I was like, you can ask me for anything you want. I'm gonna tell you no a lot of times, but here's the deal: I'm gonna tell you no, and I'm gonna tell you to do it yourself because I want you to learn how to do that for yourself. I'll help you. I'll teach you. We can do it together, but a lot of things you're going to have to learn how to do for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll teach you how to change the tire, but you got to buy the new tire.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Although we're looking for a new vehicle for her now because the exhaust fell off. She needs new tires. Half the AC don't work. So you won't pass inspection. I was like, all right, well, it's time for you. It's like, you know what? You're 21. You got a great job. Let's go find you an actual vehicle. It'd be nice for you. Instead of like, my old hand-me-down.
Inspections? Y'all live in places with inspections? Gross.
Safety inspections? Yeah.
You don't need none of that BS. Montana.
Montana. California.
You don't need no inspection.
No, you can't. California doesn't count as inspections. That's communism. They don't even allow, they don't like gas.
Yeah, they won't even let you buy a car unless Elon made it. But whatever.
And then they'll just burn
not
it
these
down.
days.
At this point, they'll just throw a Molotov cocktail at it and burn it down.
Right?
You don't have to. The car will do it for you, and then the fire department can't put it out.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what, I've been to some of it. I've been to a fire like that before, where we were concerned, like we weren't sure. It's like when they first came out with the electric hybrids, and the car catches on fire. You don't know how that battery is going to actually react.
It's lithium, dude. You can't just throw fucking water on that thing.
Yeah.
When there's a hurricane.
Look at my fucking right there. Live, laugh, lithium fucking toaster bath. Right? Lithium battery bath.
When there was the hurricanes, Hurricane Matthew or something down in Florida, there was so many fire resources being distributed that when Teslas caught fire because of the hurricane, they were just driving them into lakes. They didn't have the time to fight the fire. They just pushed them into a fucking lake or something, so it would just put itself out.
I had to put a sweatshirt on. I was getting chilly in here.
Must be nice. It's hot as hell here.
Yeah, well, we're supposed to get like an inch or so of snow tomorrow night into Monday night or something like that. Like, it was just 70. Now it's going to be back in the 40s, and we're supposed to get snow too.
Yeah, but that's on par. Last week we had those days where it was like 65, 67, 68, like, right, 3-4 nice days in a row. And I called it. I said, look, this is fall spring. Because sure than shit, like 2-3 weeks from now, we're going to get like 3 feet of snow and we'll just be buried in it again.
Awesome. You guys see those articles about everybody burning down all the Teslas and the Tesla dealerships and everything?
Let me guess. California?
No, it's all over.
It's all over, dude.
Yeah, it's all over. Even Canada.
Yeah, I was looking at some article. I guess they got like this huge Tesla protest where like 500 Tesla dealerships and showrooms and all this other stuff are supposed to go protest, and everybody's supposed to show up and down with Tesla and down with Uncle Elon, and like come on, man.
they're supposed to put on their little winter boots and go fucking go fucking.
So here's the most ironic thing that I find about the whole thing, right? Is Tesla is a 100% American company, right? So it is 100% an American automotive manufacturer, and he manufactures electric cars, which are, all part of that Green Deal, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, what do you think firebombing a whole bunch of freaking lithium iron phosphate batteries is doing to the environment?
Definitely making a new Green Deal.
Yeah, you don't understand.
It's definitely not doing anything good.
You don't understand. Elon bad.
Yeah.
That's all that counts. It doesn't matter what he does good for the country. The side of the aisle, and I hate to go sides because we talk about this in some of the other ones. We talk offline, right? It's not always like one side versus the other side's right or wrong. Like sometimes there's there's good on both a little bit here and there, but like the extreme from one and extreme from other is always the problem. Well, the extreme from the one side thinks that no matter what he does or says, now that he has shaken hands with Trump, he's automatically bad. Everything he says is bad. Everything he does is bad. And they're going to fight it tooth and nail until he's gone. It doesn't really matter. He could cure cancer and they'll go, yep, so what? Still a bad guy.
Dude, why won't?
I don't think there's any good way to argue against, what he's doing when you're going to go burn down everything he's already done, cost American jobs, contaminate the environment. It's basically a form of domestic terrorism if you think about it, right? When you're threatening to, burn down buildings and vehicles, and dox owners just because you don't like the fact that they own a car.
Well,
have you seen the number of Teslas being vandalized that are actually owned by like minorities?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a whole other mess. But you know what, Chris, you said something there. I cued in on it real fast, man. You said something like burning down these Teslas, right? The premise or the reason behind it might not be kosher, but that is kind of almost the perfect patriotic thing that Americans have done since the dawn of time, right? I mean, we threw a bunch of fucking tea in a harbor because we weren't happy with some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Now, I could be going way off base with this, but I mean, it is kind of how the hell we came about, So I don't agree with all of it, but that's
the concept behind that makes sense, but you got to remember when we did the Boston Tea Party, we were throwing British tea overboard to fight a British monarchy that was, to taxation without representation and a whole lot of other things that were happening, right? We weren't burning down American-made, American-grown companies, that American people owned. And there's a huge difference there in burning down your own country and fighting a different country for trying to overrule you.
We're totally on the same level with that. I'm down with that. Absolutely. But maybe, just maybe, the people that are doing these actions, right, burning down Teslas, right, maybe they're looking at Elon, or at least his company and his whatever his essence is, and they're going like, hey, that's the new monarchy, right? They're seeing they're playing the fucking like wild political game, and they're like, well, we can't blame Trump because Trump was doing his thing and everything. Well, let's blame this other guy who's not a politician because somebody appointed somebody and something. It just gets all fucking convoluted, man. I don't know. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go back to the good old fashioned nightly news where I got to learn about puff pieces and maybe a robbery in my own local town. and I don't care about what Diddy's doing or what fucking or what sort of wrecking ball that Cyrus came in on. Let's fucking keep it simple, bro. Sorry, my ADHD brain went a little wild there.
Hey, there he is.
Look who just joined.
What's up, motherfuckers?
This guy.
All right, Steven,
All right.
we're well into this, so you can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. But how you doing, man?
Oh, that's why I did the "What's up, motherfuckers" because I saw 56 minutes. Fuck it.
Yeah, kill your radio though.
We were just talking about burning down Teslas.
It's like I walked into this. We're burning Tesla.
The problem with that is like it's not even like you're doing anything to the company, right? They'll just make more.
Yeah.
You're doing it to the people who actually own it. Like, first of all, doxing anybody is bullshit, right? For you to actually sit there and put somebody's personal information out, regardless of who they are, that's absolutely fucked up, right? And you should be smacked upside the head for it, if not worse.
Oh, I agree.
Right? Then to go burn down somebody's individual property they had to work hard for, like, I know people around here who own Teslas. They're average fucking people. They saved their money and went and bought them because they thought it was a nice car. Or there's a couple Cybertrucks around here, which are uglier than shit, but whatever. We got a green one around here that's really, really bad. Let me tell you.
Bought one.
What's that? Did you say you bought one?
I said that's why Dad bought a Tesla. No, my dad owns one, but he got it to save on gas,
Right.
and because he liked it. It's faster than a motherfucker.
Yeah, but now imagine somebody comes and burns that down just because they don't like Elon Musk. Who's that hurt?
Yeah,
that don't hurt Elon. It hurts your dad, right? It hurts whoever owns it.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't care
And
about
the insurance
that piece.
company.
Yeah. They don't care about that piece. All they care about is, I burned his Tesla down, so that's going to fuck over Elon Musk. It's really not. Like, the guy's a multi-billionaire, right? So he's like one of the richest guys in the world, if not the richest. He'll just build more.
I'm sorry, man. I'm over here reading about Sonny Williams, the astronaut who went up looking about 25 years old and then came back looking about 85 years old. But no.
Yeah. That's a whole nother story too. The fact that we left them up there that long is bullshit too.
So according to Forbes.com, the top 4 richest men in the world. Number 1, Elon Musk. Number 2, Jeff Bezos. Number 3, Mark Zuckerberg. And number 4, Larry Ellison.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know. Larry Ellison. But
Um,
all 4 of them are from the United States.
You mean Bill Gates ain't up there?
No, hell no. He spent all his money on fucking contraceptives in Africa.
Well,
Larry
all right.
Ellison is he's the CEO or CTO of Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Huge, yeah.
That is huge. That's in everything and everywhere. That's in all government stuff. It's everywhere.
So number 5 is from France. It's Bernard Arnault and family. Then you go back to the U.S. and you got Warren Buffett, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Steve Ballmer, and then the number 10 spot is out of Spain, Amancio Ortega.
Where's George Soros on that list?
Let's see. So Bill Gates is number 11. Damn. All right. So I'm down to 30 and I still haven't seen Soros.
Which is weird because the guy's got more money than God and donates to every freaking left-wing cause that's out there. So you would think he'd be in the top 15, 20 at least.
Where's what about all the people part of the Bilderberg group? Right? Because I get individual net worth, but once you get a couple of those big wigs together, right? Next thing you know, it's no longer a money thing; it's power. I think it's kind of wild.
So you want to look at richest companies?
I imagine it's the same top four.
Well, let's take a look. Look at the top 10 most valuable companies in the world.
Now, I have a question about that.
Okay.
So, are we classifying like groups as a company? Because BlackRock and Vanguard are probably 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 if they're classified as a business and not as holding companies.
Yeah.
So,
well, BlackRock's huge anyway.
Yeah, BlackRock and Vanguard own everything.
Yeah, which is funny. I mean, this list that I'm looking at, like, none of those companies are on here.
Well, because they're technically holding companies. So they probably own the companies that are on that list. So that list is probably like Apple, Oracle, IBM,
Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Amazon, Alphabet, Saudi Aramco, Meta, Berkshire Hathaway, TSMC, and Broadcom. You're talking the top 8 are all in trillions.
Jesus.
Well, didn't BlackRock just take over some of the businesses and operations of the Panama Canal?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
BlackRock is a global investment management company and the world's largest asset manager with over $11.5 trillion in assets under its management.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but what's it classified as, though, right? Like compared to the list that Paul just gave.
It's an investment management.
Well, so all right. So here, richest companies by net assets. Number 1 is Berkshire Hathaway with $631.8 billion. So I don't know if BlackRock falls under Berkshire Hathaway.
So the top 13 holdings for BlackRock, if this will ever pull up, are Tesla, Amazon, Broadcom, Nvidia, Apple, United Healthcare Group, Coca-Cola, ExxonMobil, Evolent Healthcare, Thermo Fisher Science, Microsoft, Meta. So
I didn't realize
all of those.
Yeah, I didn't realize Warren Buffett is Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah,
that's Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah, Bank of America Corporation.
Dude, I can appreciate all these big wigs, right? That own like everything under the fucking sun. But I mean, let's go with the old adage, right? There's only 2 guarantees in life: it's death and taxes, right?
You can get out of taxes.
Yeah, right. So you can get out of taxes. So really, it's death. And if we're talking about how to circumvent death, it's water. Water's the lifeblood of the whole fucking planet, of our whole species, of everything, really. Now, if there are folks out there, all right, tinfoil hat boys, if there are folks out there that can own major freshwater resources, I think they are playing the long game. About businesses that have mineral rights to the largest freshwater resources and stuff. Bro, Coca-Cola, Nestle, those ones, right? Those fuckers own like half of Brazil's fresh water, right?
Nestle is Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and they invest in, actually, if you guys aren't paying attention, they invest in a lot of our own town and municipal fucking water companies. They're owned by subsidiaries that go, up and up and up and up. Next thing you know, you're like, well, our city water company, we think is locally owned, and it ends up being, in a roundabout way, Coca-Cola runs our fucking, local municipal water company.
Yeah, which is funny, right? So, like, this is something that I was thinking about recently. I can't remember the exact date, and a quick Google search would give it to me. But the monopoly law, right, where like businesses aren't allowed to have a monopoly. No, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, you're talking about
You have mail.
The bitch on my phone's trying to tell me all about monopoly law.
Shut up, Siri.
Well, it starts out with blue 50s, red 10s, pink 5s. Never mind.
But like, I mean, seriously though, you look at some of these larger holding companies, and like if you don't look to see who owns what, you're like, oh, there's no monopoly here because it's all these different companies. But then you look, and all those different companies are actually owned by the same freaking people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, you clearly have a freaking monopoly.
BlackRock is based out of New York. Their last report, their reported 13F filing for fourth quarter of last year, 24, included $4.9 trillion in managed securities and a top 10 holdings concentrated of 28.17%. BlackRock's largest holding is Apple with 1.1 billion shares. So out of their 5,642 holdings, here's the top few: Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and these are in ranking order of one down. Meta, AVGO, Tesla, Google, LLY is a healthcare company. AVGO is an information technology company. BRKB is a finance company. JP Morgan is a finance company. V is a finance company. IVV is a finance company. MA is a finance company. UHN, healthcare. XOM, energy. Costco, Walmart, and Procter and Gamble, Johnson & Johnson.
They fucking own it all.
Home Depot comes
BlackRock's
in
got
at
everything.
22.
So BlackRock just got into a $23 billion deal to take over 90% of the operations of the Panama Canal port operation.
Yeah.
That's a $23 billion deal for them to own and run that shit.
Now, from here on,
how much of that does China own?
At number 30, we dropped below 20 billion.
Who owes 20?
We're at $19.3 billion for the next couple.
Yeah. That's absurd.
Yeah. That sounds like a monopoly.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, now, in their defense, let me look at these.
And look at their defense contracts.
To show how big they are.
The Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard.
Their number one holding is Apple with 1,123,417,607 shares or principal amount, but that is just a 5.69% of their portfolio, and they only own 7.43% of Apple.
Wow.
Yeah, because Apple's huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
NVIDIA is next with Why does NVIDIA rank number 2 but have bigger? They own 1.8 billion shares of NVIDIA because the market value is only 253 billion as opposed to 281 billion for Apple. And let's see, percent of ownership.
And if you're looking to support, smaller companies that, aren't that big, let me tell you, you can get this cool Flag and Torch sweatshirt by going to flagandtorchsociety.com and go into the store. And you can also get some really cool stickers.
Only
The
hands.
biggest two that they hold are at 64% of Bit Digital, an information technology company, and Jasper Therapeutics, a healthcare company.
So,
And then the next is 48% of Tractor Supply.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So basically, they got their hands in everything.
Between Vanguard and BlackRock, the two of them own just about everything
In the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's,
And then
I don't know
it's
about
just
you.
the government agencies and like judges and stuff, they piss and moan about like AT&T and like, T-Mobile trying to fucking get together to make cell service, like one company. But people like this own everything else in the world.
yeah.
I'm sorry. When you own that many billion shares in Apple, you have a say-so in what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Major stakeholder. Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Now, did any of you guys do like I did and you saw Tesla stocks going down and said, all right, now it's time to fucking buy?
No, I haven't yet. I've been keeping an eye on it.
I took the Tim Kaine approach. I just laughed.
Have y'all seen the
Fucking
price
idiot.
of gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yesterday it was at an all-time high and still going up. It's dropped down $20. It's only at $3,041 an ounce.
Yeah. Only.
Yeah. If only I owned a whole bunch of gold.
It's nuts. Well, I mean, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know.
Tesla's
I don't know.
going back up. It's back up to 250.
Maybe that's a good thing that gold's going up.
You say Tesla went back up?
Yeah, it's up 5.58% today to 249.45.
So Tesla shares started going down when they started like firebombing Tesla dealerships and Tesla cars and doctors. But I don't think it's going to have the effect that everybody thinks it has. I think it's going to have the opposite effect. I think more people are going to go, oh, look, all these idiots want to go burn down Teslas. So you know what? I'm going to go buy a Tesla just to spite them. I mean, if they could make a Tesla truck look like an F-150, I'd buy it.
What
So there's a good question for everybody. How does everybody feel about crypto being a currency of the United States? Like they're trying to talk about.
Not a currency, but I'm cool with the way it is as a holding. One, because XRP has gone up. I've actually made money off of XRP.
Hey, to circle back.
Well, it sounds like a good segue to go on to the Patreon only.
Yeah.
We're about an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Just real quick, just to circle back what Cody mentioned about like the, service for service thing. That's kind of what we do with hams, right? If you think about it. Hey, I need some help building an antenna. Hey, I'll come over and help you with your radio. Hey, by the way, I need your help hooking up my computer. Hey, by the way, I need your help like hauling this 3 sections of tower to my house and help me get it up. I mean, we do that as hams.
Or the fat guy going, hey, I need somebody to climb my tower for me because I exceed the weight limit on my tower.
I'll climb your
That
tower,
ain't a problem.
Steven. All right. But you're gonna have to pay extra if I have to do it with my shirt off. We started off talking about kids, right? And the generations, all that stuff. And then we got down the rabbit hole of like money and the people that are in charge of like the whole fucking planet, right? And it just reminded me that like, hey, I don't know if I've set myself up right for my future financially and all that stuff. I'm not out there to try and be a billionaire, millionaire, or even a 100,000aire. Right? I just want enough money to own a jet ski and to be able to put the jet ski on the lake every weekend. I think that is the American dream, right? Like that's my fucking threshold. That's the cusp, right? Make it to fucking I have jet ski money, not fuck you money, jet ski money, right? Because I can't tell
not a boat, but a jet ski.
Yeah, jet ski. I want to go have fun on the water every weekend because I can afford every weekend. I can do that. I think that's right where my happy medium's at.
Well, you can do it. I mean, a used jet ski is relatively inexpensive.
Well,
you can pick one up for a couple grand.
So, but the jet ski is the analogy, right? It's I don't have to sacrifice weekends because my boss or my job or whatever the fuck, right? And I can afford the gas to go out to the lake every fucking weekend. That's I think is the happy spot. At least my perspective of it.
Don't work retail then, that's for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, by your standards, I would be a wealthy motherfucker because I don't own a jet ski, but I own a boat and an RV and a house.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just saying.
By your standards, I'm fucking rich.
And that's where I'm at, man. Just so long as you can enjoy yourself. You might work yourself to the bone Monday through Friday. No harm in that. No shame in that, right? Yeah, everyone's got to fucking put a little bit of sweat on their back, but your weekends, fucking, they're yours. They're yours.
It'd be nice.
Yep, that's where I am.
Steven, you ready to buy a boat?
No, I've got a Jeep. That's much worse than a boat. I have a Jeep, a camper, and a tent on top of the Jeep. So technically 2 campers. So yeah, that's more than a boat.
Investment.
But your warranty just saved you almost $1,000. So
fucking A, it did.
Yeah. That was impressive, dude.
I know.
Holy hell. Yeah.
I mean, as much as there are things about this dealership that I dislike. One, management kind of sucks. And I think there's 3 people other than the owner that are still there 2 years later. Because they just have such a high fucking turnover because their service department is like everybody else. It's kind of, their service techs are shitty. I mean, not the mechanics, the people that come in and are supposed to hold your hand and tell you what's going on. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, service techs are a bunch of Gen Z quiet quitters. That's the fucking problem.
Yeah. So, to catch Cody up. So the battery, I actually got one of the emails that the Jeep sends out, the monthly updates on fuel and tire pressure and all that kind of shit. Well, it actually said, hey, we've noticed that your battery is performing low. It might be time to replace it. Well, I went out to get in the Jeep and it had been sitting in the driveway for 2 days because we were driving her car and it wouldn't start. It was fucking dead. I mean, battery's dead as a fucking doornail. Well, I take it in. The dealership, they offer lifetime warranty with a new purchase. So because I special ordered the Jeep and all of that, it's got a lifetime warranty through their warranty company on it, which goes past all the normal bullshit. Well, the Jeep's only 2 years old. It has less than 21,000 miles on it. It's got 20 and change, and already needs a new battery. Well, they told me It'll be 2 hours. So she rides down there with me. We get some coffee. We go sit in the waiting area. Lady comes in and says, "Hey, the warranty company wants us to test the battery before." So, yeah.
To make sure it's truly dead.
Yeah. To make sure that it's a bad battery. And so the 2 hours turns into 4.5 hours.
To test the battery?
For the whole thing.
Were they
So
licking
they
their
ended up,
finger?
apparently they hook it up to something. Anyway.
Yeah.
So she comes back.
It takes a bit, because what you got to do is you got to charge the battery, discharge the battery.
Yeah.
So it takes time.
And it runs.
They had to go
all
buy the
kinds of
equipment.
tests on it. So she comes back and she hands me the detailed sheet. $849 to replace 2 batteries, because it's the secondary start-stop battery, which is underneath the primary battery. And yeah, if your vehicle has start-stop on it, to where when you pull up to a light, it turns off and it'll start back up, it's got 2 batteries.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Holy.
And that second battery is about a $350 battery, but it's a small AGM battery. But
weird little form factor, right? Like
it's like a lawnmower battery.
Okay.
So all right. So Stephen, can you disable that feature so that it doesn't ever shut off?
Yes.
And then just use that second battery as your radio battery?
No.
Ah.
No. You can shut it off, because I hate it. I hate pulling up to a red light, and then once you stop,
Your car's just dead.
it turns off.
Yeah.
And then
your
you wait a
fucking AC
second.
compressor, everything turns off. Fucking.
You let off the brake, press the gas, it starts back up, and you start. That drives me fucking nuts in stop-go traffic. So I have it turned off on the little switch. But both batteries was $849 to replace, and they replaced both of them under warranty. Cost me nothing except 4.5 hours of my day. So that was good.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
I want a diesel, man. We have to have 2 batteries.
Now mine's a diesel, but it only takes the one primary battery.
Gotcha.
You got a diesel Jeep?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, he's bougie.
I didn't know Jeep did diesels, so that's awesome.
They did it for a couple of years, and then they stopped because they weren't selling that many of them. They're hard to get. I had to special order it because to get the color and the makeup that I wanted, they did a lot of them in black and green, and I wanted one that was silver. But
You got a snorkel on it too?
fuck no.
So hold your breath.
My truck's silver, and I've been contemplating just rhino lining the whole fucking thing green.
Hey,
Okay.
my fenders are rhino lined, the same color matching gray, and man, they're great.
Dude,
My truck has got that.
I don't think I have a single fender that doesn't have a crease or a dent or a crinkle in it. So
So Cody, the other night when we were leaving, we were talking about, I went into my be nice speech, be nice to people until it's time not to be nice. But I brought up a really good video, and
Wait, hold on. Which video? The one that you owe me $5 a month for? Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
No, not that one.
Okay, all right.
But I watched this video and showed it to all of my people when I was a supervisor, because it really puts it into perspective that I don't know your story. So until it's time not to be nice, I need to be nice to you, because I don't have a fucking clue what your story is. And it's always been the way that I've tried to lead my life, that I'm nice until you're not. and then fuck it. But you dictate me.
Okay. Yeah.
And this video really put it into perspective for me and helped me put it into perspective for a lot of other people, or a lot of the kids that worked for me. And it's created by Chick-fil-A.
What? God's chicken? Don't sell shit on Sundays? All right.
Has anybody ever watched the Chick-fil-A training video?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Pull me up, Paul. Hopefully it'll pass the audio through. If not, I'll pull the speaker over here close to the microphone.
Pull me up.
Well, can you send me a link? And
Yeah.
and I'll do it. And then
Hey, that's even better.
yeah, this will
In the chat.
be a good way to round the episode out. And then we'll move to the after chat. So for those of you that aren't Patreon members,
Not yet, Paul.
this is the stuff you're missing out on.
Yeah.
All right.
You think it's crazy here? Just wait.
Full screen. And we'll present. Share.
Break it up, Paul. It's like Joe Rogan, but put it on the screen. All right.
All right. Here we go. Every life has a story.
By Chick-fil-A.
Oh, perfect. It's short. My attention span.
Short, very impactful.
Interesting.
Wow.
Wow. And true, you know, I mean, like everybody's got a story. We have no idea what is going on under the surface, right? Because we all put forward a facade, you know, And so, oh, thank you for sharing that, Stephen. That's spot on, man.
It's, I mean, that helped me with my younger kids at the sheriff's office. And don't be a dick to everybody right off the bat. Try first. I mean, the whole Roadhouse philosophy. Be nice until it's time not to be nice. Well, how am I going to know when that is, Sarge? I'll let you know. And I mean, it's because we really don't know what everybody's going through. The other people that we run into in life are going through. And when you treat them with respect and kindness, and then if they don't reciprocate, disengage a little bit. But if they want to be a dick, okay, then yeah, that's a whole different set of rules of engagement. But for the most part, be nice. Because just as hard as our stories are, there's other people that haven't been where we are to make us as hard, that technically have shittier, worse stories than we do. We just don't know it. So that was my whole point of the other night. And okay, I'm shutting up.
There you go.
Next.
Good job.
Now, well,
No, man,
all right.
that's
So,
important.
yeah, 100%. So, like I always say, right? We're all in this together, right? And you're always advocating for kindness and to come at different situations with kindness and compassion. And I think that's important for everybody to understand. And I hope that resonates with our listeners and our viewers. That 100%, like, dude, we're just like you in every freaking way, right? We all share something that makes us fucked up in our own way. And so, yeah, just try and be a little bit more understanding of others, because you never know, the things that trouble you might be things that trouble somebody else as well, or they might have things that are 1,000 times more horrific that are weighing them down. And something that day might have just put them in a bad mood, and you take the brunt of their aggression without realizing it because it was just a bad day for them. So, Stephen, I think it's a fantastic way to wrap this episode. We've had some great conversation about a bunch of different things, but like, dude, that is one hell of a freaking message to leave our listeners and our viewers with. So, thank you for sharing that.
And if you're on one of the audio versions, check out the Chick-fil-A training video on YouTube. Just type in Chick-fil-A employee training video. They should. All of their employees had to watch it. I don't know if they still do. It's old. It's what?
Well, for our
14 years ago.
Yeah, so for our audio only audience, in your favorite podcast platform, whichever that may be, I will make sure that there is a link to this video in the description, so you can check that out. You don't have to search for it; it'll be right there in the description of your favorite podcast platform.
Thank you, Paul.
All right. Any other final parting words that we want to leave our audience?
I'll tell you what. I really appreciate the video, but I still want to be able to get some chicken fingers on Sunday. So let's per game, dude.
Well,
no,
I have a secret to that.
Oh, you got one? You got the
Costco. And I don't have a membership anymore, so I don't go there anymore. But Costco sells chicken strips and chicken nuggets that I think taste better than Chick-fil-A chicken strips and chicken nuggets. They are breaded, real chicken, and they are the shit. They
And you
are
can buy the
really,
bottle
really
of the
That's
Chick-fil-A
some fucking
sauce.
blasphemy right there, man.
good.
Don't let God chicken know that you're saying this.
I'll tell you what, though. I make my own chicken, like air fried chicken strips, and I use the Chick-fil-A sauce. It's fucking great, man. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. Spread my own stuff up and throw them in the freaking air fryer. Pull them out later. Some of that Chick-fil-A sauce on top of that, man. Fucking great meal.
I went to Chick-fil-A for breakfast this morning.
That might be there, dude. That's what I'm down for. You know what, Grouch? I'll tell you this. All right. I had quite an experience, a small emotional roller coaster over the last hour or two. All right. We got to talk about a little bit of kids, right? A little bit about generations and stuff like that, right? Our kids, us being kids, and everyone else, everywhere in between. And we got to see that we're all messed up, and we just try not to mess it up for the next generation. And we'll try our best, right? We'll try to allow Chick-fil-A to be open on Sundays. But then we started talking about a little bit of just our financial overlords, the people that are in charge of like the whole fucking planet, right?
Global domination.
Yeah, and it had me a little bit, it had me a little bit inside myself going like, man, have I invested? Do I know this? Am I going to be able to survive? Am I going to be able to do something that will kind of set myself up, or even my children, and make sure that, we can still survive comfortably? I don't know. All right. That's why I just said, get enough money to make jet skis and you'd be good to go. But to really cap it off, right? I've had a very long week, and over the past couple days, right? I've worked myself to the bone, and I'm on a weekend right now. And over the past 3 days, right? I've been working so damn hard that when I come home, I take my boots off, or I pass out. My wife takes them off for me. Thank God. All right. I love her. But I haven't changed my socks. I haven't changed my socks in 3 days, boys. All right.
What?
I haven't done.
That's a crime.
All right. Because when I wake up, I'm like, oh crap, I'm still on the couch, slap the boots on, shave my face, and go. So if you guys are still out there and you're grinding, right? And if you're working yourself all the way to the bone, it's okay to do a couple days without changing your socks. But there will come a time like, hey, fucking reset, right? Wash it down, wash it away, and fucking and get on some fresh socks and keep going at it. So that's where I'm at. I don't know where I was going with it, but hopefully you get it, man.
Clean socks.
Put on a fresh pair.
All right. Well, I hope that our listeners and our viewers have enjoyed this episode. If you're not a channel member or Patreon subscriber, you're not going to get the after chat. So please feel free to subscribe to either one of those platforms. That way you get the unfiltered after chat, and you get the uncut version of the podcast. Thank you all for supporting the show. This is our group therapy on the interwebs, and
Yeah,
we enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it as well.
the next section makes me feel old, and I got pictures to prove it. So let's get on to the next part.
All right, we'll catch you on the next one.